Hello and welcome back to the English broadcast of the League of Legends Pro League. We're coming in for our second game here, live from Shanghai. I'm Paul, this is Raz. Hello. And yeah, we're going to have a small substitution here for TOP. We're going to be putting in Moyu into the top lanes. We just had Lies, of course, play Gnar, which is difficult from he usually picks. You know, usually goes for the Darius, but kind of did a bit of a Moyu. So why not bring a Moyu to do a better Moyu?
100%. Just looking to split across. And Moyu has better stats throughout the split, as we already mentioned. His damage per minute. And they definitely don't want any hit damage taken, so they're going to put him in top lane. So it makes more sense to bring in Moyu to begin with.
Yep.
Putting in Lies is just more of a chance, an opportunity that they can give him. They're just more confident with Moyu when it comes down to push and shove. So for TOP, it seems like this is the lineup that you have to be able to take down if you want the series victory.
I would say of all the teams that you want to experiment on, you know, and still want to pick up wins at the end of the split, FPX probably not the one to do it, because they can just randomly come out with wins somehow. Like, maybe Korn just pops off on whatever champion he's playing on the day. Maybe they just win a late game team fight that just happen to, again, all just do really well on the mechanics on the day. They're the type of team who just have random spikes and troughs, but when they spike real hard on the day to the point where they can take games off the top teams in the league.
Here's how confident TOP is, though. 3 series over FPX, 3 series over 5th place. Right now, they're probably thinking, we are good. We are fine. We can start sweating if we lose this series and maybe the next. They did the hard job earlier this week.
That's true.
So going up against FPX, naturally very confident. Confident enough to give FPX a Camille into this one. So we'll have to see how game 2 ends up working out. They're taking this one seriously.
Yeah, they're taking it seriously, but again, they are confident. Can be a good thing and a bad thing. As we have a Kindred, Rakan, and Taliyah ban towards FPX on their side. They'll ban away, of course, the Aatrox to Swain, but also the Yasuo towards Korn. It will be a first pick of the Trundle, Response, Camille, and Alistair.
With this composition already, I'm just taking a look at the TOP and saying comp without really 4 picks. I only say that because with Trundle, there are a few picks that you really want to see. Something more aligned with poke. So Varus is something that I'm looking towards Chocho picking up. Now Chocho is an incredible Jhin and Varus player. Great from the far backline. If you talk about Chocho and backline, you know he's way back.
Yep.
He has the space that you give him, but also he's just a great sniper, Chocho. So I want to see what he ends up getting for himself if he is allowed the Varus pick going into second phase, because Trundle will allow him to play that fashion.
We're going to have Gnar join TOP again, so Raz is just 2 for 2 on the day. I guess he just wins the bet, doesn't he?
Look, Lies isn't even playing.
That's true, yeah.
You're done.
Hey, there was... I was super done. Yeah, as soon as the Moyu substitution came in, I was doomed.
You're paying for my dinner tonight.
Yeah, I absolutely am. Unfortunate. You can buy whatever you want, Raz, from McDonald's.
And
FPX are going to pick up themselves a Galio. Don't lie, that's what you order every evening. I see you.
I've changed up recently. You'll see.
King.
And I'll order as many kebabs as humanly possible.
Did you manage to try the kebabs from Berlin when you were there?
No. Actually, I did. That's a lie. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. FPX are going to ban away the Tam Kench. Of course, Cat brought that one through in the last game, but I don't really associate Tam Kench with the Cat name. I associate Pyke and Rakan and things that kill things. So I want to see what Cat brings out today. But it will be a Ken ban towards FPX as well.
I would say if you're FPX, 2 champions you should worry about. Yes, the Tahm Kench, but I would say Braum as well. The Trundle and Braum combination is something that's insufferable to play with if you're trying to dive into the backline. There's just so many slows. Of course, the pillar that can appear, you have to traverse that. Then the Braum ultimate. So it allows Chocho to play some incredible front to back picks. Kaisa is something that I think about. I say Varus for everything because Varus is usually just the answer. Because you can go poke,
yeah.
You can go lethal tempo, Blade of the Rune King, so you can go consistent damage, you can go AP, you can go AD.
He's an everyman, man.
You can literally do anything you want. Varus is just the best AD carry, so Chocho slaps Varus. Let me tell you about this. Got a great deal here for you today.
Slaps the roof of his Varus. Let me tell you about this AD carry. Well, FPX are going to pick up the Sejuani for Alex in the jungle. We're going to have ourselves a Shen pick as well for TOP. And that will be them looking at the AD carry. We'll see what's in the end. Oh, so it's going to be an Ezreal. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, Jojo.
I'm not a fan of Ezreal.
Tell me why you're not a fan, Raz.
Is a safe pick. There's no follow-up there. You have a Shen. And I understand that Shen in this case is going to be a bottom laner. but you have the opportunity to walk up. You shouldn't go for that much in utility, and even though I said that Varus is a good pick in this situation, it's because he at least has the sustained damage front to back. In this case, we're going to be waiting a long time. Not just 2 items, I'm talking about like 30 minutes.
Yep.
And sure, you'd say, but like 20 minutes is when you complete your Muramana, but I'm talking about double tier. So I want to see what we're going for TOP. I think for TOP, a lot of focus is going to be on the Gnar and how he split pushes the matchup. Going up against the Camille this time. So I don't think there's a right answer for him to split, as he's going to be facing a lot of people in that type of map.
Yes he will. And at that, if we're talking about compositions, it's a guided missile composition.
Yep.
And I think that we've got a Kaiser here, so she's more like a torpedo. So I'm going to say that it's like a guided torpedo composition. When we have the Jin, it's like a laser guided composition because he brings up the curtain core and then it's like a laser. But this one's a torpedo. But you're right, you know, Camille's going to go into the total time. It's going to be a Galio on top of the Camille, and it's going to be sad days for the Gnar.
Camille Galio is the most frustrating composition to play against because not only can it speed up the game offensively, trying to dive bottom lane, top lane, easy to do when the Galio just has to take 2 meters of walking before you can ulti in your lane. And then defensively, what is a Gnar going to do if he split pushes or tries to find a dive situation when a Galio is going to find you? So
option 2, dive.
Yep. Camille Galio Sejuani, definitely not who you want to be seeing in a dark alley.
Nope, because you're going to be facing an ultimatum, and that is a what is he doing in that picture? He's got a Starbucks. He's got himself a latte.
He's happy. I don't know if he's in a diaper or something. That's way too white.
The 5 of diamonds.
He's a diamond.
He is a diamond.
A diamond in the rough.
Wonder what the 5 stands for.
There's 5 members on the stage. One of them is
You're not wrong. No, I don't know if that is the correct answer. Well, again, we can see the compositions as we get into game. I feel like the crowd's gotten more full. Maybe getting ready for our next game of the day as well. The EDG versus WE. Make sure you stay tuned for that one as we get onto the Rift for TOP and FPX, the second game of the night. Hey, it's our turn to talk.
You gotta sneak it in there. That being said, of course, remember the next few series outside of Shanghai, so gotta be Palin and Xi'an going to WE versus EDG. That's the risk with EDG. Not only are they going up against the Team W that usually plays up when they go up against each other.
Yeah.
They have to do it in enemy territory.
That's right. Hang on, why is it? People are just late to this series, Raz.
Yes, they
are. Not even here for the next set.
Yep. Reminds me of my family.
Yep. Come on time, folks. Plenty more League of Legends to watch today. Yep, TOP going to be walking into this jungle, and this is a very much a Dark Alley, but it's happening a lot earlier. We're going to be opening up with so many spells. Cat is now under attack. He's looking to try and flash over this wall. He's going to make it, but his Trundle didn't.
First rule walking down a Dark Alley is don't at least bring a ward, a flashlight, if you will.
Yep.
In this case, yeah, it's going to happen. There's way too many CC here. A really good call out from FPX. Recognizing that the jungle matchup is going to be important, so hiding Sejuani's plays by stopping the ward being placed down in Raptors, incredibly crucial. Means that XX now, while you can still safely assume that Sejuani is going to start topside, doesn't know if she's going to be heading towards Raptors second or are we going to be going straight towards the blue buff next. So it's going to make XX a little bit questioning now the pathing of the Sejuani.
Taking a quick look at the Keystone, seems mostly standard across the board. Going to have Moyu going for the Ares once again as the top lane, which will be comment on the Camille. We're going to have ourselves a pause Keystone on the screen as well, slap bang in the middle. Yep, Aftershock into the jungle, pretty standard for Sejuani.
So let me tell you about Aftershock since we have a lot of them.
Good old Aftershock.
I hate Aftershock. So when Aftershock came in, I was like, why is this in the game?
Well, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I definitely thought it was going to be nerfed, but it didn't.
They got buffed.
Yeah, because you got 2 extremes here. Electrocute that lights you up, and Aftershock that just is, you know, never going to get touched.
Turns you into Metapod.
Makes it so if you're a squishy little fiddlesticks, you just fear somebody and suddenly you just have flat
You're a tanky little fiddlesticks.
You're a fiddlesticks that's made of steel titanium.
Yep.
Titanium alloy.
Made of tungsten. It's just like, oh, I guess we can't kill him anymore.
Don't touch me.
Yeah. You remember when you could actually play mid lane Leona and it was like legit? Because you just go Aftershock and you just run at them level 1 and just couldn't kill you.
You say everything is legit just to back up your statement of your nonsense picks, and they're just not legit. I'm not allowing it on this desk.
Well, last time, you know, I feel like over time I just become the prophet. I'm like a Time Lord, like Genja. Hang on. FPX is just going to take crap as this blue buff is being taken.
Run!
Oh no! Alex, turn left!
So he's on the wrong side of the map. I think he was seen,
He doesn't care. He's going to take wolves.
Are you kidding me? Hello?
He cares not for enemy junglers.
Is he clearing out
I'm the only jungler
game?
in this game.
Well, hello.
How has Alex not even... There we go. Now you know what's happening. He still takes it away. Cool rotates from the mid lane. Just as punch for you. We're going to be charging up the taunt on this one, but here comes Catnip from the bottom side. Dodge out of the way from Alex. And Chris comes up for the fun. Oh my god, the whole posse's here. Can Cat make it out? That's the question. A Caffeine Rain goes onto him. He's going to die. Here's the edge roll. He's caught in the... Oh my god! It's a massacre. FPX find 4. They're going to bring up the top lane into the party as well. Oh! Here comes Cool back from base. Oh no, Korn. Oh, he's about to get harvested. Cool gets another kill. 5 kills to 1, and we're at 3 minutes into the game, Raz.
So this level 1 is pretty strong. We saw what happened level 1. So now they all group up. Every single one of TOP going up against the Kaisa, the passive that she has, the extra damage when she gets the 5th hit, of course the taunt that you know he had level 1. And then Sejuani, and Sejuani, honestly, if you just look at FPX, the only one you should really focus on is just the Sejuani, based off the fact that she gets, with the melee members that she has from Galio, will stun you on sight. So let's take a look at this, because the moment the home invasion's been spotted, you bring in the cops.
Wee woo, wee woo.
This is not Detroit. They come at a speedy time. They catch Trundle very quickly, and so while every member joins up, I think TOP just didn't expect the fact that all of the adjacent lanes actually showed up on time. Because the moment they do is when it's lights out. So just poor decisions from TOP, and it's going to cost them the series at this rate.
What I found was hilarious from that play was that it wasn't the top lane who came down, it was actually Cool who came back into the fight from the start of the fight. He'd recalled, teleported, he bought a Dark Seal during that, then teleported back into the fight, picked up a kill, then got stacks on his other Dark Seal. And then he went back and picked up a blasting one.
He's a big boy. The Dark Steel stacks, but one thing that he's going to be doing now in laning phase, because usually with the Rise Trundle, you try and chip at him.
Slam, bam, send it back to the tower. I'm just saying, Raz, have you ever seen someone with a mid-team fight purchase? I don't even think I've seen an Ornn just craft an ice a mid-team fight, you know what I mean? He teleported back,
I'm definitely
went shopping,
waiting for the game.
Went down the high street and was like, I'll take this, and I'll go back to the fighting pit.
And so what ends up coming across this is, of course, getting double corrupting potions. Of course, he has the refillable as well. Oh, okay, yeah. Refillable with double, what is it called? Dark Seals. Yes. There we go. Means that he's just going to stick in lane for so long. Don't fight him.
No, definitely don't fight him. He's going to Arctic Assault through your pillar. Next X. Ah, well, I've got my Krugs, it's fine.
And this just isolates mid lane a lot more. Korn doesn't have teleport here, so it's going to mean that he's going to come back to base while losing waves. And then when he pushes out, doesn't have the wards to his right. He might have it to his left. You can see, actually, Gimgoon is making sure that that doesn't happen because he's roaming frequently after he pushes. So Korn is just on an island. He's Tom Hanks in this film.
Yes. Yeah. Who's his volleyball?
Oh. I'd say XX because he's getting pushed around a lot.
He's Wilson.
Yeah. He got lost in the ocean of the enemy blue buff side.
That's true. Yeah. He did, yeah.
And he's a little bloody.
He is. It all adds up.
There we go.
It's perfect.
I'm going to call XX Mr. Wilson. Mr. XX, if you will.
Mr. Wilson. Maybe he can upgrade himself to Wilson Fisk by the end of this game. We'll see. Because XX, you know, we said he was the most improved player on TOP. And I think probably in the league, to be honest. You know, he did start very far down.
Yep.
But then he's skyrocketed, I would say, in terms of the junglers into the split. Been a major part by TOP of being strong. Bot lane, Cat just got 100 to 0'd. Well, he's not quite 0 just yet because he'll flash away. He's got the shield on top of him, and he's still bleeding out from this one. It's going to be okay in the end.
This is how impressive it is. Of course, if you have two sudden impact supports, the one that with the upper hand is just going to walk at you. And in this case, Cat got walked on. So that was interesting. Knocked up. Full passive being applied by LWX. This lane is super easy for LWX. He's so close towards getting his, I guess, his next item. If he gets a BF sword, there we go. My God, stop this man.
BF sword and a pickaxe at 7 minutes.
Against the Call Fairy Charm! He has a Call Fairy Charm!
He's got to have more money than that. He's got to be able to spend. He's going back to base now. Surely he's got like a tier.
I can't breathe.
Maybe a Sheen. Come on, what have you got? What have you got, Chocho?
Tear it up.
What have you got for us?
Tier, please.
It's a tier. My tier's fully stacked to him. Oh, and he's got a Sheen. He's fine. He's all good.
I'm still upset. Yeah, but he's still gonna get lit up in lane. The one thing you could say is that he has the range in the matchup. If he plays respectfully from here on out, as the bodyguards find, track, and push Cat out of the establishment.
Yep.
That Chocho might be able to chip him down, force LWX to respect the lane a little more. Remember that LWX doesn't have potions. Going for the BF sword boots means that he's not going to be able to buy the potions really early on. So he's just betting on the fact that he'll stay behind minions and not get poked out by the Sheen Ezreal.
Imagine getting your magic boots at 8 minutes 30.
Imagine the pings that are being drawn out in the bottom lane. The Galio that's rotating. There's only one result here.
Press F to pay respects for the TOP bottom lane. That's going to be an ultimate following through. Cat's put in the fridge. Chris bounced back, but he goes golden. It's a golden cow, folks. And he's still alive.
Hey man, they're sticking around too. They're going to try and least shift this tower. They don't have much range on LWX, so what I'm looking at is just... What?
Oh, he's just going to go in. Cool finds a double taunt. Oh, Chris with the follow-up as well. XX underneath the tower. What's he to do? They get a kill onto the Alistair. But as Cool slams back down, they're going to find themselves a third kill. FPX are 9-2. 9!
In 9 minutes. Just putting that out there. 9 kills with a team-fighting composition. 9 minutes into the game. All of it focused on towards the AD carry as we've seen Gimgoon lighting up Boyu in the top lane.
I'm going to let him live today. He'll remember this. He'll tell his friends what he saw in the top lane.
Run back to your tribe. Tell them about my leg technology and that they won't be able to match it.
Yep. You've got millennium until you catch up to me.
So
but again, Cool's insane.
I didn't expect this. Of course, the taunt coming through means that they're just going to pile in. They have a really good dive composition. I don't have to tell you. You already saw it. Only real, let's say, problem that came through was the extra tanking that came from the Alistar. He's not going to be too upset about it at the end of the day.
Took too many shots. More shots than Frostgreen on a Friday night.
Yeah. It's a lot of shots.
Yep. Too many. But that's fine. It's a kill. I mean, technically that doubled the total kills for TOP right there. But FPX are destroying TOP.
Storm Razors this early on. So, Storm Razors is a fantastic item. 0.14 Storm Razors. Early crit, I don't have to tell you what it does, but I will tell you is that getting it this early on against an Ezreal means that Ezreal does not want to get in a 10-mile radius of him or Alistar. Of course, post level 6 is Alistar gets a headbutt pulverize, and she's behind you because of the proc chorus of plasma. So this is a little wondering of how TOP is going to combat this. Double tier composition when you are this far behind 3k gold at 11 minutes is unrecoverable.
I mean, if you're TOP, you're hoping you can recover because this is match point.
Yes, they are.
But look at this, 2 versus 2, Crisp and LWX, they're hammering down the tower. We're at 11 minutes into this, but how are you going to deal with a Storm Razor? How are you going to deal with an Alex flanking you from the top side and starting to dive your inner turret? You don't. You lose your first tower, that goes fully over to LWX.
And so the one scary thing about FPX's composition is how straightforward it is. They just try and fight. They know they have the gold. This is their choice. And
FPX, they play well from ahead, but Gimgoon, he gone a little bit too deep, and actually, the helper, Cool, abandons ship as LWX teleports into the top side, or gets blocked by the minion right there on that W, but he still follows through with the killer instinct, dodging out of the skill shots. LWX has got Cool in front of him, but it's a 5-man stack from TOP.
And at the very least, because this is a poor situation for FPX, LWX doesn't have to base. They already took the bottom lane tower, so he can just keep top lane as his new lane to focus. He wanted to be here anyways. It was just unfortunate that Gimgoon got caught so early. Teleport's not going to be that quick. So would have been a great fight for FPX had Gimgoon waited a little bit longer, but of course that's just what happened. So it's not too bad. It's not end of the world. It's not as though LWX now has to make the journey on back to bottom lane.
It's not the best, it's not the worst, but you could see that Gimgoon was over the wall and he saw his team was coming in. He was ready for the guided missile.
It's just a good response from TOP. The teleport that comes through, and even though Chocho didn't add too much, gets the kill anyways. It was just knowing that they can double down to the play, and that Gimgoon was alone for a little bit longer.
Why do you think that Call didn't, because he was there while Gimgoon was getting dough, why didn't he use the ultimate right there on top of the Camille, give the damage resistances? Because I saw him in Tri-Brush, and he had the ultimate, he just didn't choose to use it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's a long time, still a channel ability. He's still going to die underneath regardless of the undamaged mitigation. I think he just chose to hold on to it knowing that it was a lost play.
And have it for the future. Maybe another play opens up in the near future. Shelly was placed down in the mid lane to crack open the outer mid lane tower. FPX Wolfenstein found 2 of those, so top lane, of course, is now going to be under attack for them. But that was the result of that play. So essentially, FPX traded, you know, their top lane for the Herald at the end of that, which turned into a mid lane tower, which is quite nice for them. And how are we doing if we're LWX? I know we had the Storm Razors last time we checked in on him. Now he's also got another pickaxe on top of that, and he's got boots. And a dagger.
Should mean that an evolved Q. Looking at him right now, the damage is there. No question. So it just means that the setup for that fight needs to play around him. With Galio holding on to his ultimate, getting this dragon's fine. I mean, that's just makes it so the game moves a little bit quicker. You can play around the next objective and it forces TOP there. But I'd want them to now start religiously playing towards top lane. Even though the dive threat is on towards Moyu, there is so much innate gold on towards LWX. It would be a waste to not play towards it.
For sure. But I mean, Kai'Sa, not a champion that really scales off. Only a champion that really gets stronger. So LWX is going to be okay as he hits second item, third item, fourth item, fifth item, sixth item, seventh item.
But the range is my issue here. Because at least with the Alistar in the laning phase... Oh, okay, wait a minute.
It's okay.
Trying to do this is difficult because, of course, just that range that Chocho's trying to play around. It's good that FPX is now playing around it now because as the game goes on, Iceborne Gauntlet being built by Chocho means that he can actually try and keep LWX at an arm's reach. And that usually the problem that a Kai'Sa has in these team fights is trying to output as much damage as possible while not getting CC'd in any way, shape, or form and trying to always keep in range. That's the struggle. So, you're right about that, not going to scale down, but this is your best opportunity.
We'll say the other thing is the silver lining here for TOP. And it's LWX. You know, LWX has a propensity, if he sniffs blood, he'll run face first into a trap. Now, I believe it was LWX who ran into the back of a fight and 2 people were literally hiding behind a wall mid-fight.
That was him.
And he died at red buff.
Checks out.
It's just like, hello? Where did you think they went? So there is still a chance if TOP play these fights well, which I know they can, because I've seen them do it against teams like EDG, for them to actually take out the AD carry. And he is where a lot of this gold is centered. That being said, in the bot side, Muyu going to be facing this ultimatum, but it's going to be the whole gang that's here. He wasn't expecting the family. They're going to get the kill on the bottom side.
And that's the trap we were alluding to in the last game, where TOP as a team brings in the members just in case. Those rainy day situations, knowing that FPX want to accelerate the game, so they have Corn lying in wait with XX, just so they can find those minor pickoffs. So it happened there, Gimgoon's down. No members there for FPX, but they're doubling here.
You gank me, I'll gank you. Here comes LWX right into the back lines. The torpedo comes in big. That's 2 kills to FPX.
They're trying, dog. They're trying their hardest, but they're just getting blasted by the engage potential once Crisp enters the fight. Run away from him. That's all you can do.
It's pretty horrifying when you get hit by the Camille into the Galio with the Sejuani on top, but then a Kai'Sa following through. Like, yeah, you want to deal with the Kai'Sa, but you can't while you're CC'd for 7 seconds.
So now this is the worry. These towers are going to be taking a record time, 17 minutes into the game, and bottom lane inner tower being taken. Makes it so easy for FPX to then focus top lane, send the Camille split pushing bottom lane in towards Moyu, and just say, we're sitting around Baron forever now. You actually have to force us out of here. Last game, it was TOP making the mistake of sending out people to take down that bottom lane tower and losing Baron. FPX don't even have that possibility anymore. They can't make the same mistakes TOP did.
And it's just feels bad, man, in this entire series, because we went into this first game, TOP, they tried that double lethality build, you know, with no tank on the front line. They tried something a little bit different against an FPX. You said they had a good winning record against the team, and they're like, this is the time to do it. Let's try something a little bit different on stage. Heck, we'll give Liza a chance at going for some Nara in the top lane. Didn't work out, no problem. Second game, we go into this best of 3, and it's just like, uh-oh, it's one of those games that you'd FF if it's a scrim at 2 minutes. And it's one of those games.
Yeah,
and it just ripples out from there.
You give them power. The power was there for TOP. I mean, in game 1, it was poorly played team fights. That it was disrespect in that regard.
It was.
Game 2, it was just real disrespect from XX. So we're taking this in. Helicopters running around this fight. Don't know how they see it. I mean, don't see it. The knockups there secures the 2 kills. The damage is going to follow up because there's so much confidence from LWX. He just ults in front of 2 people in melee range because he knows he has the massive shield to follow up.
Yep.
And he's going to kill them before they get out of CC.
To be fair, he'd do that anyway, but this time it worked out. Yep. Good old LWX. But when it works, it really works. He's a win more card, for sure, on this AD carry. 405. He's 2 items, Raz.
Yep.
It's 19 minutes.
Biggest
Those are not cheap items either. Those are really expensive items.
Biggest spike you can have for, let's say, a Kai'Sa at this point in. You have the Guinsus and, of course, the Storm Razors. It evolves both your Q and E. So now she has the ability to go invisible in this point in time. So the issue here now, if you're TOP, is that you have pick potential here with the Corn W. And XX maybe throwing out a Trundle Pillar. But if you were to get on towards LWX, the added invisibility based off that, and the attack speed that now he gets, improved movement on that one on Guinsu's Rage Blade, it's actually impossible to nail him down. The damage isn't there to follow up. They just don't have it if they don't have the Gnar. So for TOP, they're hoping on a Gambit around Baron as it now spawns up.
Yeah, they definitely are. And also maybe looking for an engage onto FPX, you know, break apart the formation before they can all just run at you. Because FPX are always going to shine when you're just like throwing in the Sejuani ultimate, throwing in the Camille herself, throwing in the Galio on top of the Camille, throwing in the Alistar, you know what I mean? And then at that point, LWX is going to chase the team. He's going to be in there as well. Everyone's going to be all together. But if you can break them apart, that might be an opportunity for TOP.
Let me lay out essentially what you're hitting on is when teams get lazy around the Camille Galio composition. When Camille sends out the ulti, walks forward, Galio then ultis, and you can see the ultimates not aligning well, so you can actually just move away from the Galio ulti within the confined space of Camille's. So those actually happen fairly frequently. I feel like every single time I see the duo, that combination, there is impatience with that combination, and allows for the guaranteed pick to not be guaranteed anymore. So that's on to FPX to play this one out very strictly, disciplined. They can't make the same mistakes. In this case, they have Alistar to follow up. So I don't, like, they have so many insurance policies here that they're paying a little bit more than they should. But they're doing really well for themselves 21 minutes in, and they're going to start up on Baron.
Yeah, they are, but they're just being safe around it at the end of the day. I mean, everyone on this team is just gigantic. Sejuani, oh, it was just a trap at the end of the day. Cat, curiosity killed him. And ultimately, FPX will turn back on towards the Baron. 4 versus 5 now. That being said, Alex is low, but he can turn around again. Gonna be Galio coming down. Crispin's in real deep without any backup right now. But that's gonna be a massive taunt coming out of Cool. That's gonna be the follow through from LWA. Oh my god. That is way too much damage for 21 minutes into the game. Chojo's getting chased down by the knife feet.
I mean, she has hook shot.
She does.
That's the thing. Oh my god.
It's a 1 versus 1. LPX versus Moyu. Oh, that should not be happening. To dodge out of the way, and he might be able to get it because Shen's on top of him. He managed to find the kill anyways. 1 versus 2 LWX.
This game's getting mad. It's getting some ridiculous stuff. I know. I can see it. FPX, while they're still on the map and getting more objectives, taking way too many risks here. Alex is the first offender where he was no HP, playing around Baron, walks a little too close, and then dies for it. The Galio ulti obviously trying to help him by getting the added resistance is not enough, so you actually waste the Galio ulti. Take a look at this, because this was the successful one. Getting on towards Cat, easy peasy. And then it makes sense going for the next player. The only issue is that they only had 2 people on Baron. So Alex took a lot of damage he didn't need to take. So that's the first mistake from FPX. Of course, Moyu coming out to get the execution on him. And this is when Crisp dies too. You're like, how does this even happen? Why is Moyu in the back? So actually surprisingly good for TOP. Even though they end up losing the fight, they lose it in a graceful fashion.
Yeah, they do indeed. Which is surprising given the whole situation of FPX just having massive power spikes on their carries across the board. I think that they're still behind. Still had a lot of casualties. And the cow was waiting. Though he has been spotted, so no longer a hidden cow. But the rest of the team is already on the Baron. They are burning it, and they are burning it very quickly. This Kai'Sa does a whole lot of damage, and it's already dead. This time, TOP will not have a chance to even contest.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, there was just on TOP to try for the second gambit. They needed to play around Baron. It was very linear. FPX understood that. Taking a free Baron on that one when the waves were not pushed out, so it was good timing there for FPX.
Clean as a whistle. Second time around, and they group up topside. Moyu's the only one defending. He's got Cat behind him, and slowly the team is trickling out. It's actually going to be a teleport coming in from TOP to defend this.
They're going to be a little bit successful in doing so. One thing you have to look at, Gimgoon having his stopwatch means that he can look towards diving here. In fact, it can be said.
Oh, he's put in the fridge, and he's knocked up. And he's about to be knocked down as well, because here comes the Galio ultimate from downtown. He's going to be knocking up XX into a kill. Moyu chasing him down though. Crisp is low, but comes in with a clutch headbutt. Uses his life for that one, but his team doesn't get wrecked by the ultimate coming in from the Gnar. That's a great ultimate coming in from Gimgoon. Dodges out of that ultimate in from Gnar, and now they could just chase them down into the base. Gimgoon slices and dices Cho. It's an ace for FPX.
There we go. That's what I was looking at of it for Gimgoon. He knew he had the stopwatch, so all he had to do was keep them confined in one place and allow LWX to finish it off. We didn't see this one coming. 2 games in this series, and it's FPX finishing it off.
25 minutes on the clock right here. FPX completely destroyed TOP from start to finish. It was just one of those games. FPX with the 2-0 on the day.
You have to feel happier if you're FPX from this one. They are aiming for Snake, EDG. They want that 4th place spot. This is an upset. TOP were by far the better team of the 2, but then came in disrespecting FPX. And guess what happens? I don't give a damn it's a 3-game series. You mess up once, and you are now betting it all on the line in game 2. Ridiculous.
Well, you play with the fire, you play with the Phoenix, and you're going to get burned. And that's what happened here today in Shanghai. FPX, you're right, they're looking at teams like Snake, like EDG. That is insanity. We're week 8 right now. There are only a few games left to play for all of these teams. And it's just like, and you're telling me that EDG could be behind FPX as they make a late split run.
And it's all week by week. It's all play it by ear. At this point in time, feels like EDG and TOP are safe. Just remember, points are still a biggest point at which you have to care about that. FPX have a lot of 3-game series. Snake has actually been a lot more cleaner in it. So at the moment, FPX, if they want to feel safe, have to take 2 series rather than 1. So at this moment, while tying them up with Snake, they need another one, because by the points, FPX are behind. They will remember that one because last split, they lost by the points. They were tied up in standings to WE, could not make it to the playoffs because of it. Cool will remember that. And so for FPX, their job is not done yet. They still have a long road to 3 weeks ahead.
But this This is a good sign. It's a very good sign. And that's
That is
an
a
even
good
better sign.
That's a great sign.
Fantastic sign.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic stuff. You can see that was such a fast game. LWX, I mean, obviously he just snowballed out of control following on from those early kills.
But let me put an elbow drop on EDG now.
All right, okay.
Because this was a game
Well,
where...
even here, Raz.
I know. Well,
They're about to be, actually.
They're definitely in Xi'an, but I want to bring it out because there was once upon a time a Kaisa game that was Kaisa was super far ahead. I was... Oh, wait a minute. That was iBoy.
It was.
They lost that game. And the reason for it is because they didn't play around iBoy as heavily, as religiously as FPX did here today. And while this composition is super easy to play around, Galio, Sejuani, and Camille makes it very easy to not make a bad decision. It made it so they played around him, even though there were times in which they played the Dragon and then went top. Or they tried to help out the Camille in the Gnar lane and then went back towards the dual lane. LWX, for the majority of this game, was feeling safe and secure. He was safe because, of course, he was going up against the Ezreal, so in a 2v2, in a 1v1, he's not going to get touched. But he was super safe because he can just press ulti, be in melee range about with everybody. And he knew that there was always the follow. He was the follow-up, but he knew he would have the backup. So a great game by LWX because he knew that the team was always there by his side.
Yeah, and as you said, vice versa. Good job to the team for actually being there in the first place, right? And I think like that was the thing for the team. We were like, well, yes, this is a relatively simple combination to execute. You have R button, R button, R button, LWX with right clicks. You know what I mean? Like it's a relatively easy composition, but it's the timings in which you actually do it when you hit your R button. Because we saw at the top lane, that was definitely a bit of a mismatch right there, going into the wrong time. That being said, when you look at the following skirmishes and the following team fights, they were all just like way better.
Yeah, but for me, it's literally just the level 1 and level 3. That's like what the game's decided by. Level 1 is fair enough, and I know we're going way too far into the game because FPX were getting engages like this, but the level 1's decided it because that was a very smart play, understanding that trying to protect your Sejuani worked offensively as well.
Yep.
But then when XX went into the blue side jungle and just stayed there. Not just take blue buff, but take wolf camp, take their T. Like he was feeling really comfortable there for quite some time until he was pushed out, and not just pushed out, he brought his friends along, and that doubling down from TOP is what costed them. Not because of any misexecution in team play, a bad decision because FPX just had a great level 1 composition. They just had a really good kit in every point that was in that fight. So no, they wouldn't make this mistake when they're going up against EDG. Wouldn't make this mistake going up against Snake. They smashed them. Felt like TOP went today expecting an easy series and then got smashed when they went up against great players. That's what you should expect. Great players, and then they were surprised when FPX started to put up a fight and play true to the team mantra.
And that's the issue, I think, you know, is because FPX actually have an identity at the end of the day, and, you know, like a large part of that, yes, is the player talent, but then you also look to those team fights, right? If you're experimenting against a team like Vici, you're like, well, okay, they have a lot of issues, they have good players here and there, but it's not like a solid 5 and then a clear identity. I think with FPX, you have the latter right there, and that's what really bit them in the arse at the end, because yes, that level 1 went horrifically, but it takes a team to pick up the ball and then run with it until the end zone.
And this is the thing. Remember, being in Week 8 means that a lot of the teams, the Vicis, we saw that happen yesterday, they're improving. They're not going backwards. They've played with each other for 8 weeks now. 9, 10 if you're counting out Demacia Cup. These teams have understood their problems, and while you can say some of them are very slow in resolving it, they are now a better team than they were in Week 1. Easy statement to make. Easiest in their lives. So if you make this, you know, these points of disrespect here, they're going to group up. They're going to understand that. And while they are in relation not as strong as TOP, if TOP tries to play down, they're going to match them. And so that's what ended up happening today. It is still a massive upset, but it's great for FPX now cool on the stage because that road is still alive for them. Get into playoffs.
And I think actually right now, if we're just talking about the state of the league, it's the inverse, right? I feel like a lot of the top teams are playing down right now. FLICKR is talking a lot about this. It just feels like near to the end, like 3/4 in, and it's a bit of a slump, and then you'll look to see that spike once again towards playoffs. Makes a lot of sense for the IGs, the RNGs, the RWs, right? Because they're pretty much set. But it's the bottom teams, right, that you're talking about. Vici, LGD, you look at teams like FPX, these are the teams that are making these late season surges and are playing up because they are hungry for a playoff spot. They see that 4th space and it's just like, we could probably get that actually. Let's play as hard as we can in this world split and see what we're capable of. So if you're trying to experiment against these teams, now is not the time to do that.
And that's the thing, because no matter if you change the format to make playoffs more important, these teams that are secured playoff, Rogue Warriors is one of them, and it's a great example now, going up against OMG later on tonight, are teams that are now, and remember what Rogue Warriors did last split. They're a team that just said, we're now playing Kai'Sa, a bad Kai'Sa. The Kai'Sa that was the unreleased Kai'Sa that no one respected, no one played, because they wanted to gear towards playoffs. They wanted to experiment a little bit more in their composition. RNG, a team last split that also made a mention of, we want to experiment with our picks, bringing out Xerath in some instances, and now bringing Uzi back in because they wanted to line up for playoffs. So there are a lot of teams at the top that are expecting playoffs runs. They're saying, we're going to now, in this case, test out lives or test out a few compositions. And you're seeing teams that are hungry right now on stage that are trying to do everything they can to get into playoffs, and that's just the natural state of the last few weeks of the regular season.
It really is. And I mean, we have what, like two weeks and a bit now for these teams, so it's just like you've got maybe 4 to 6 games depending on how many you played before. And remember folks, we have a week 11 coming your way because of the Jakarta Asian Games that will be happening in a few weeks from now, so we've pushed 5 of those games until the end of the split. And also there's be some change as well in terms of timing, so make sure you look at the LPL English Twitter, and we'll be keeping up all the updates on that end. For now though, we have 1 hour and 10 minutes as a break because FPX just demolished them in like an hour. So we actually gave them the elbow drop there, Raz. So we're going to have a little bit of time until we go over to Xi'an. We have WE versus EDG. So make sure to come back in an hour from now, maybe have dinner, and then come back and you'll find us once again talking about some League of Legends. So we'll see you after this.
想要征服他人，必先战胜自己。EDG 的队名就是鞭策我们的动力。